take from the study of science? What is it really worth to you, and why do you do it?
Well, first of all, you're quite right. It's very commonly believed that we can, in principle, understand everything. I can give you references if you like, but it's a very standard thesis in the sciences and in philosophy of science by leading people. And it's a very strange thesis because it was understood centuries ago that it can't be true. The people who make these statements also worship David Hume as one of the kind of founders of modern thought. But he very clearly pointed out, as I quoted, that while Newton did remove some of the mysteries of nature, he left other mysteries in a state where they will always remain mysterious to us, and he had reasons for it. Often it's argued that on evolutionary grounds, we have simply evolved so that we can answer every possible question. That's part of, natural selection, selected us to answer questions. I mean, that goes back a long time. Charles Sanders Peirce argued that, and all the way to the present, but it's totally crazy. I mean, hunter-gatherers did not evolve to solve problems of mechanics, or let alone quantum theory. So there's just nothing to that. And that's what we're stuck with. There are things we can understand. There are limits to understanding. And we might even, in principle, discover what the limits are. I mean, it's not contradictory. It's hard, but it's not contradictory to think that inquiry into the nature of human intelligence might explain why it can deal with some things and not deal with other things. I'd like to take a crude and oversimplified, but maybe not false example. Humans can deal with determinacy. A lot of science deals with determinacy. Can deal with randomness. A lot of work on randomness. But maybe there are things that don't fall within randomness and determinacy. Like, for example, the creative aspect of language use, which doesn't seem to be determined by circumstances, and obviously isn't random, but is appropriate to circumstances and is understood to be. And what that gap is pretty obscure. We recognize it all the time, but it doesn't mean we can understand it. Maybe it falls beyond the bounds of human science. It's possible. And incidentally, this extends to choice generally, not just to, that's dramatic in the case of language. That was Descartes' point. But so what's the point of science? To understand as much as you can. We want to understand as much as we can about the nature of things. That seems a worthy objective.
Hi, can you hear me?